All right, so January is behind us. How did you do? How were your sales? In this video, I'm going to share what my sales looked like, what were the trends, the top brands, what sold, and take a look at some of the overall trends in the reselling business. Hey everybody, Angelique here, corporatecrunchy.com, where we're all about thrifting, reselling, consignment, and conscious fashion. This is basically my monthly video where I go over my numbers and I share what sold, how everything went. So check it out. All right, everybody, I'm going to share with you some of my Vendu numbers. If you're new to Vendu, I'll put a link in the description. But Vendu is what I use for cross-listing as well as it being an inventory management system. And one of the things that's great about it is it gives me some pretty good analytics as well. So what we're looking at right now are my numbers for the month of January. You can see the total revenue and the total profit. That total profit number is not completely accurate because it doesn't take into account my consignment payouts that I made. However, you can see that my total number of items sold went up 9%, number of items listed went up by 45%, and my average sale price went up 49%. And the main reason why that average sale price went up so much was because I took on a new consignment client who had a lot of very high-end things. So as soon as I was able to start listing and selling that, it sold pretty quickly. Let's look at categories. So top selling category is clothing. That's easy. But in terms of subcategories, dresses, and you could see here what the totals were for dresses. Next was sweaters, followed by top, coats, jackets, vests, and then handbags. So that's a little bit different than last month's numbers. And top selling brands is also very different. St. John I had as the top selling brand. Again, that's because of that new consignment client that I mentioned. White House Black Market was a little bit of a surprise. Those were not high sale price items, but I did get rid of a few of them. ASOS, Lauren, Ralph Lauren, and then Anthropologie. Anthropologie usually ends up in the top 5 there somewhere. As you can see, in terms of average sale price by marketplace, Tradesy was the highest average sale price. Interestingly, followed by Mercari for the month, and then eBay. And Poshmark actually came in second to last place for me, which is kind of interesting because if you look, in terms of the number of items sold, I sold most of my items on Poshmark, and then second place was eBay. And that's been pretty consistent for the last several months since I've really started dialing in how to sell on eBay. So that's what my numbers look like in terms of what sold on what marketplace and what my average sale price was. Okay, so next I wanted to share this is an infographic that I put together every month for my consignment clients, and it includes some of the industry trends in the resale and consignment business. Okay, so you may have heard there's kind of a thing in the reselling business. Months that start with a J tend to be slow in sales. So January, June, July. And I have found that to be true in the past, but it also largely depends on what you're doing in terms of what you're listing, how much you're listing, how often you're listing, that sort of thing. What I can say is in January, as I mentioned before, I really increased my inventory a lot with items that I got from new clients. And that actually helped really boost my January sales. I already showed you some of my top selling items through Vendu, but what I wanted to share here were some Poshmark trends. And what I found really interesting were the most searched items. So I included that here: Lululemon, Nike, Carhartt jackets and coats, Patagonia fleece, tote bag, and snowsuit. So still some outerwear still happening in January. We'll see if that continues in February or not. Other top trending items for women: skirts, A-line or full skirts, boot cut or flare jeans, flats and loafers, mini bags, and rings. And for men, we're looking at polos, dress shirts, bomber and varsity jackets, lightweight jackets, and sneakers. I think sneakers are probably always pretty popular for men, but those were the trends as according to Poshmark. eBay sales opportunities. So I looked at kind of what things are in demand on eBay, and this is also, somewhat based on the kinds of things that I sell, but some things that are in demand are activewear jackets, athletic shoes for both men and women. So again, that's consistent with what Poshmark had said. And then there's some other things in here. Again, coats and jackets, magazines, interestingly enough, outerwear, anything vintage or antique, and then some more activewear pants, skirts, and skirts. The Mercari Trends, I haven't been able to find new Mercari Trends, so this is the same as what I shared last month. But what I found interesting was I found this little tidbit of information, and that was a 2020 survey found that in the year 2019, 7% of the average US consumer's wardrobe consisted of resale clothing. That number is expected to rise to 17% by 2029. And 69% is the online apparel resale market growth rate worldwide. So reselling is not slowing down. The demand is growing and people are more and more open to buying used clothing, which is great for us. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to share was my single highest selling or highest priced item that I sold in the month of January. And that was this St. John evening skirt suit. So this came from a consignment client. This was one of those cases where I listed it and it literally sold within minutes, which leads me to believe I probably underpriced it. I did research it. I could not find this exact suit. I couldn't even find one like it. It's a little bit of an older style, I'm pretty sure, and I just went based on comps of other similar St. John suits that have a lot of that kind of embellishment for the St. John evening suits. So yeah, so I listed it for $375. I think I immediately got an offer of like three something. I want to say it was 318 maybe. Before I even had the chance to like try and respond, somebody just bought it outright for the 375. So there you go. But hey, quick sale is always a good thing. So I'm not going to argue with that. But anyway, that was my top selling item in the month of January. Okay, so there you have it. That's what sold for me in the month of January, as well as some other trends that I was able to find. So be sure to drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you like this kind of video, I'll continue to do these each month and kind of share what sold for me versus what some of the trends were. So just be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.